Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. As if by magic, almost immediately in my world, possibly 24 hours plus in your world, he returns to look for a die lost in a basement. How exciting. I hope it's down here, because what is a die without its brother or sister? Is it going to be here? Is it going to be here? Is it going to be here? Please be here. Oh, look inside. It's dark and grimy. What are you doing? I hear the murderer of the hanged men talking. Oh, we lost our die because we've got hands made out of stupid. Okay, so we need to find a crowbar to open that. Outside of that, we've got to go and speak to our friend, the old lady on the boat, who we might have accidentally taken a bribe from. Not entirely sure. Oh, come on now. Just get me out of the ledger. So we need to discuss with this lady, whose name I can't recall, the comings and goings of the day. Did we manage to search this trash can? Could we possibly open it if we have our chain cutters in hand? Oh, signal blue navy coat. Marvelous. Maybe we can open other doors. +1 suggestion, -1 half light. Oh, I wish that I could remember your name, young lady. Bonsoir, ça va?
Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
All around you, rain keeps falling down. On the wooden boards she's standing on, and on the water around you. Neither do I. Pat your similarly wet cloak. Very rugged, she nods in approval. Good choice. Now I suspect you had questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day, am I right? I've got some more questions about reality. Conceptualization. What is reach for something fundamental? Oh. We got. How? How is that possible that we fail it? Nah, bollocks. A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. The doubt is fully formed in your head. The alien feeling persists, yet something's still missing. Have you finished mulling over the je m'ai vu thought, but your conceptualization skills are not nuanced enough to make sense of it? We need to unlock another skill in point in conceptualization, I guess, then. By the way, I've talked to Everett Clare. You have, she smiles carefully. And how did you like Mr. Clare? Finally, time to choose sides. I didn't like him. Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait. Actually, she answers her own question. Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic worm-like corruption reaching into the bowels of the earth. She looks at the ground and nods. The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides. Of course, and I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I am not a corrupt worm myself. She turns to you. However, if you feel like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural we would be gossiping. Tell her. She'll like you for it. I'd rather talk about something else for now, if you don't mind. Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Okay. Maybe we don't really have anything to talk to you about right now. I thought we did. I thought we did. See if anything has changed in our ability to imagine something on this wall. Apparently not. Apparently not. Go away, small boy. Is this the door? Or is this the door? Use the basement apartment. This must be it. The basement door is weather worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head. You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there. A white alligator. A fountain of quicksilver. As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little draft. A whistle. We're going in, of course. What kind of a detective would we be if we did not venture inside? The Colonial Mug Collection. A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amongst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes. And others. Tap on the mugs. A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. That matches the cup that we've already found, does it not? Our racist mug. The images betray a lack of interest in human beings. They are merely unflattering caricatures. What do I mean, uncomfortable? The owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much. Typical asshole. This person is unhappy. The lieutenant picks up one of the mugs, then puts it back down with a look of disdain. I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment. Whip out your yellow man mug and compare. Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humour, the same mocking lines. There's the missing tin soldier. The lieutenant looks at the mugs next to each other. Whoever lives here might have used the Whirling's container to dump his trash. And now they've drawn the ire of the Union. The plot thickens, as they say. Perhaps you should break into apartments more often. Do you really think it's the same person who put the dead man's clothes in the trash? Who knows? The lieutenant opens his notebook. I'm not expecting too much from this. Clothes in the trash lead either way. It might turn out to be some random local matter. But still, a nice coincidence. Move on from the mugs. Right. The way I see it, we've got two choices here. We can become Superstar Cop. Or we can increase whatever it was that we were looking at then. It was your brain not really working, David. Conceptualization I wanted. I'm doing it, sod it. I would like to attempt that skill check again. Whoever lives here admires fair-haired fantasy heroes with big muscles. Oh, a shirt. +1 logic. I think we should wear this shirt. For the moment, we will wear the logic shirt. I think it will help us. Does anything remove logic from us? Does anything else offer us logic? No, it does not. What do we have here? You can almost feel the warmth of the red sun on the flag. A book titled The Hidden World of Walking Sticks lies open. Some money? Are we going to steal this money? Magnesium. A small suitcase full of clothes. Guests are staying over? I feel like we're going to be interdicted. We were not. Is there anything to discuss on the matter, sir?
Yes.
I want to talk about you. Me? Yes, you. I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. We'll work together, but we'll better together if we have more rapport. That's a fair point. All right, for the good of investigation. What do you want to know? Tell me, do you ever talk with yourself? What do you mean? You know, like when you're thinking, do you ever like conversations with your brain? I have no idea what you're talking about. So how do you, tap the side of your head? Think? Well, I do most of my work inside my notebook. The lieutenant produces his small blue notebook and idly thumbs through a few pages. So that's where his conversations with himself take place. You're super lucid, yet psychedelic. You don't need office supplies to connect to your nervous system. You're special. Tell me a secret about yourself? The lieutenant narrows a single eyebrow. No. Ask again. Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. Something is paralysing them. You're pretty sure it has something to do with the lieutenant's eyebrows. The eyebrow is exercising psionic control over you. What's happening to me? Something the matter, detective? This guy's got authority off the charts. With just a flick of his eyebrow, he's able to make you his thrall. What can I do about it? Nothing. You better hope he doesn't abuse his authority. There's a lot of it. Silently scream for help. If the lieutenant were an evil man, who knows what sort of havoc he could wreak. Fortunately, he is a committed officer of the RCM who will only use his powers for the good of the investigation. The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control of yourself. You're wearing glasses. That's correct. That makes him a binoclard. Completely uncopped material, if you say so myself. I'm not going to call him a bino. Glasses are cool. Are they? They're mostly just cumbersome. Oh, apparently we could use a good normal pair ourselves. You don't look like other people around here. That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seol. So was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. He shakes his head. It's not an interesting topic. Okay then. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never met either of my grandparents. There's nothing ethnic I can tell you, or anyone else. Well then that's all. Thanks very much for the half-assed conversation. I think you should know I can't remember anything. No response. He just arches his brow. I feel like I must repeat this. I don't remember anything. There was heavy drinking involved. Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs? There is a sudden harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal affairs. I'm afraid this is... Is it a medical situation? What's wrong with personal affairs? Not a fan. It's just the nature of lieutenancy. So what should I concentrate on? Try work, the case at hand. It can work miracles. I'm afraid this is a medical situation. Really? The lieutenant gives you a look, thorough as if performing triage. You look fine to me. I'm talking serious, unbelievable damage here. I saw myself in the mirror and I had no idea who I was. This psychodrama is unbecoming of an officer. It's not psychological. Some sort of major brain damage has occurred on an unprecedented scale. Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my Kanema to call your station's Lazarus. Was there anything else you wanted? Tell me about the case. That's all I need. Nothing. You rude young gentleman. Can we get in here yet? Let's try it again. There must be another way into this building. But not yet. We've permanently reduced our logic. That, I think, is going to be a huge problem for us. So now, unless we remove it... What was it that reduced... Oh, maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I'm misremembering. My brain is made out of toffee, apparently. Now, we can't explore south here until after Wednesday. We're only on Tuesday. We can call the Lazarus like we were informed to. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge. Pick up the radio. This is Precinct 57. The operator greets you through the static. How may I assist you? Alice, please connect me to the station. To Station 41's Lazarus. It'll just take a moment, thanks. Her voice fades out into the familiar radio static. You hear a man clearing his throat briskly, then an answer. Gottlieb, what do you want? He's carelessly chewing on a piece of hard candy. I was told to call the Lazarus. People are worried about me. Oh, the man is unpleasantly surprised. It's you. Was that a snarl or a suppressed groan? No love for you here. I think I've had a heart attack. And you survived it? Congratulations. Are you mobile? Sort of, but it... by God, does it burn in your chest. Yeah? Even better. Anything else? I wouldn't worry about that. Officers your age have coronary trouble all the time. Also, death is a natural part of life. Accept it. The body is an object. And objects break down. Do what good you can with yours before the rest goes too. I've lost my memory. Like all of it. With all the damage you've been dealing yourself with drugs and alcohol, I'm not surprised. There is no surprise in his voice. Only careless superiority. You're not surprised? Okay. Anything else? What else? I'm not a brain doctor. Look on the bright side. You've got a whole new life now. Use it wisely. And then the motherfucker Gottlieb, reeking of schnapps, ordered me into his butcher's room. Officer Fisher is in a storytelling mood. He continues. And I ask him, you sure, Doc? And he's cool as can be. Yeah, if you're in pain, you got to get that baby out. And so he removed my appendix on the spot while the party was still on in the other room. And I was delirious with pain and all the schnapps I'd had. But I remember thinking, man, that Gottlieb can stitch. Only a month later, when I got a chance to properly thank him, did I find out that he had no recollection of the event. That's Gottlieb for you. In league with the devil he is, I'm sure of it. Cheers! The clinking of beer glasses is drowned in group conversation. I think I've developed extreme photosensitivity. That's because you're hungover. Even the radio waves coming from your direction smell like liquor. Do you feel like your eyes are twitching too? Yeah. That's the tiny vessels pulsating from high blood pressure, stupid officer. You might be sustaining permanent damage to your vision as we speak. Not much I can do about it. I'm not an eye doctor. What kind of doctor are you then? The busy kind. It's not life-threatening, just annoying. For you. I've got more important things to do here. I couldn't reach up and grab a tie from a spinning fan without unbearable pain shooting through my arm. Hard to tell exactly what it was over the phone. Could be a combination of peripheral neuralgia and high blood pressure. Could be that you were having a heart attack. Or actually, it could be both, given your profile. That sounds bad. Yep. No wonder I'm in so much pain. I feel like I've been damaged. Yeah, probably in more ways than one. You're detecting very little in the way of empathy from Dr. Gottlieb. So what do I do? Cut down on the drinking, pal. In fact, cut off the drinking. The drugs too. Anything else? Oh, but sweet, sweet speed. It goes so well with alcohol too. You know who I am? Yes, there's no end to the misfortune's fate has seemed to fit to rain upon me. Good fortune? You mean good fortune, right? You're basking in the floodlight of my glory. Basking in your glory, yeah. Practically drowning in it. Please tell me what your complaint is before I am completely submerged. Doc, someone broke my heart. Look, pal, getting pumped and dumped is not a disease. People live through it all the time. You should be happy for her. Wait, pumped and dumped? That's what the guys say, officer. There's some chick pumped you and then dumped you. Threw you away like an empty juice carton. Don't take it personally. There just wasn't any juice left in the carton. Do you know who the person was? Have I told you? You must have me confused for a close personal friend. I'm not. I'm a medical professional with a constant idiot emergency on my hands. One needs tending to right now, he thinks, looking around the room. God, these apes. Isn't there anything you can do for me? What? You want me to do blood work for you again? Tell you just how bad things really are? Across the board? You want another rundown of everything collapsing inside your body? Yeah, I want the truth. You want the real, honest-to-God truth? Stop drinking, eat magnesium and vitamin D. Our station is not a retirement home. We don't have the funds to deal with rock stars past their prime. So it's political. You're being neglected because of political reasons. And no, I don't want to hear a political commentary on the topic. In fact, I've got work to do. Some idiot has glued his eyelids shut with cyanocrylate. It looks like Mac Torson. It's not fucking cryoactylate. It's super glue, Doc. Well, then I guess that's it for now. The phone clicks. Suddenly you hear the already familiar voice. Anything else I can help you with, officer? I'm done with the radio for now. 57th over and out. Her voice disappears into the void. We probably could have spoke to our buddy out here. So we're going to run back for some stupid reason, wasting yet more time. I'll have one last look at my clothes and see if I've got anything else that can improve my conceptualization. Now that we've increased a point of it. Nope. 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 Nope.
You're back.
Hello again.
Good. What can I help you with?
I've got some more questions about reality. Reach for something fundamental. Please work this time. What is all of this? The scent, the sounds, the air. What world is this? What world? The fading pearls of her eyes look to the sea. The only one, I suppose. The world of matter and its pale antipode. The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water. What do you see? Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage, we all have. This world is enough, she concludes. There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it. These archipelagos included. What is it? Elysium. Elysium. The world needs a term of endearment. It does. There are those who would call it hell. What is hell? A term of hatred that originates, like many other things, with the Mesk petrofascists. I feel like I haven't got the whole picture yet. Ah, you want a picture of the world? She raises her finger to her lips. There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit. How come? Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside. Sideways. Inside sideways? What shape is the world then? We used to think it was a fear, but that's beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s. There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona. A dark grey corona? Yes, she pauses. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago. A cold fear seeps into you. Oh my god. Wait, what the hell are you telling me? You seem to be spooked. Don't be. Her voice becomes homely, calm. She lets a moment pass. The pale? And what do you mean corona? They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, dear. She looks around. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're doing here. But this is one of the great questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it might sound. A fractured corona doesn't feel like it's going to bring anyone together. You've misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below orbit. It's... She looks up. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it. Well, if you say it's disco. See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities. The cold seeps into you. The air is heavy with 80% humidity. Suddenly you're conscious of yourself standing there on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both silently. He adjusts his glasses. You said pale. What is pale? The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality. Yes, the lieutenant looks at his watch. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. Remember we have a cadaver to attend to? His voice is low but firm. All she can say is, "Of course, Lieutenant." She bows and turns to you. "Let's try something else." "I don't want to. I want to know what the pale is." "I don't think your colleague would appreciate that. He has already been so patient with this whole exercise. Let's continue with something else." Alright, she leans against the railing. "You can ask about anything else in the world. Anything. Ask for Kim to step away while you discuss the pale." "Kim, can I talk to the lady alone for a second?" "Fine." "See? What can he do? You're a grown man. Now, what is the pale?" "Are you sure you're sure?" Your colleague seems adamant. "Yes, what is the pale?" "Okay," she concedes. "The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the isolas. It is the insular mass." "And what is an isola?" "Isola. Isola is a Mezzaninian word for a continent of matter enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also, isolation or landmass. We used to believe that there was only one. In the last 4 centuries we have discovered 7. Mundi, Seal, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this. Insomnitude. There's no need for all the words, let's be honest. I'm a pretty proficient reader most of the time. It's just, it's unnecessary. Insulindi is an oceanic isola. It comprises mostly of water. Mundi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinda the bluest, and what can I say? She stops. Each is perishing, and dear. What is the pale like? Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness. Is it here? Look around. No, Detective, we're safe. She points to the sea. It begins there, 6,000 kilometres to the north, and even more to the south, east and west. You're in the middle of the isola. As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens in your stomach. 6,000 kilometres from the end of the world. Yes, that is enough. Many cities are built much closer. And there? An uproar of matter, darling, rising into the pale. Rolling, evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called porch collapse. Imagine a grey colonial mist, cold vapour marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism. A mould that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see. You hear your pulse rise. The air feels caustic and cold suddenly. What are its physical qualities? It's difficult to describe or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into the pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible. If we're surrounded by pale, how do you get from Isola to Isola? Oh, it is. Her lungs deflate, her words sound like a sigh. It is so difficult for us. It is possible to force dimensions on the pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it's still hard for humans to navigate the pale without getting lost, or having our minds deranged. The pale can damage the mind? Extensively. How? Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others, that pale somehow consists of past information. That's degrading. That it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past. What does this over-radiation feel like? It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travellers to 6 days of pale exposure per year. You're not a civilian passenger? No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I'm a member of the entrepreneuric business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of pale transit annually. Are you over-radiated? Up to my gills, officer. What is entrepreneuric? Entreprenetics, she corrects, is the scientific study of the pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericanesians called it the Western Plain. Did they cross it, the Western Plain? There are signs of petro-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years. What has entreprenetics changed then? Nothing. We remain powerless before the pale. The only real advance in pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later. Aerostatic craft? Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near pale to far pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end, if we throw them precisely. If we don't, then they don't. How much pale is there compared to the world? The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping. To our detriment? What do you think, detective? There is more and more of the world? Or there is more and more of the pale? Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An initiative conclusion of the development is that one day the pale will cover everything, but this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Where would we go? Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organisations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same. Let's return to reality, please. Yes, sweet reality, she stomps her foot. But before we do, tell me, detective, is this the first time you've heard this? Do you really not remember anything? I sometimes sense vague shadows of a past, and it's not good. Then tell me, what do you think of the pale? Its advance can only be stopped with intense, immediate, total, ruthless communism. Her eyes tense, crow's feet radiate from them. She observed you, your bloodshot eyes and swollen face. You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, detective. If you didn't know even this, then... She stops mid-sentence. This investigation will be my masterpiece. The one they remember me by, I promise. I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague Kitsurugi. I ran a check on him, and he's very competent. In the meanwhile, some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here. You have me, and I will assist you in any way I can. even if we have to do it one basic term at a time. She gives you a slight bow. Good, the lieutenant returns. You have not passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual police work now? That was fucking insane, Kim. Yes, well, he thinks. The rest of us have dealt with it for thousands of years, so he looks around, a little uncomfortable now. You will have to deal with it too, the lieutenant thinks. This is why I didn't want you to know. Right. Let's get to work, Lieutenant. Good luck, detectives. She nods you goodbye. So the whole world knows that we exist in a doomed reality. That's overwhelming, I imagine. That's an overwhelming concept to have to deal with. It's quite overwhelming for me. Are we any closer to our conceptualization of this piece on the wall? No. In that case, I think it's best that we leave it there on that head fucking conversation. Oh, excuse me, yawning. A pleasure as always. There was some very hefty theme in the conversation of this episode. And it will take some time to process, I'm sure. I might even have to rewatch the whole episode myself to digest what happened accurately. Been a pleasure though. Thanks very much for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And anything else that you feel is essential on a YouTube video. Still asking for criticism. Still asking for feedback. Anything that you can say that can help. I'd appreciate it. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll catch you next time. Take care now. Cheerio. Bye bye.